I don't know why, but I was chosen for this.
Bear with me. I will tell you the actual story of so-called Mary. This movie is such a fraud. The Black Madonna and Child is the original. Even the popes know it because the black version is Catholic, the white version is Christian. Was there a religious revolution in Europe back in the day? Yes. All of a sudden it becomes white. Christianity is a perversion of Catholicism. The black version is based in reality. The white version is based in fantasy. A woman cannot spontaneously have a child, and nobody can rise from the dead, especially after 3 days. Pure fantasy. Welcome to Black History Decoded, where I give insight into Black or African history that has been misrepresented over the centuries. If we just focus on the origin of the Black Madonna and Child, history will start to unravel. That is how powerful the Black Madonna is. That black woman and child were royalty. I'll explain the origin of the Black Madonna and Child shortly, but you wouldn't believe the nonsense people say about the Black Madonna and Child. They can't help to be ignorant and racist at the same time. Oh, the soot from the candle over centuries made it black. When they realize that that doesn't make any sense, they say other stupid stuff like, oh, the blackness represents the womb, it represents the earth, she is mysterious, blah blah blah. So are we to believe the white version represents snow, sugar, cocaine, salt, the clouds? Everything is done to explain away black history. It's disgusting. What I'm about to say, there's evidence of it on the Hathor Temple. And the Hathor Temple was not created by the Ptolemies, not at all. That's a lie. Now, this story of the Black Madonna is a very famous story that's told in various ways, but nobody recognizes it for what it is. That black woman is none other than Isis. And no, she did not get a dismembered penis from Osiris and stick it in her and have a child. That's ridiculous. The Ethiopians call her Makeda, but she's better known as the Queen of Sheba in the Bible. If you understand what happened between the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon, then you know what I'm about to say. Now, guess who King Solomon is outside the Bible? It's Amenhotep III. Nothing to do with Israel or Canaan. Israel is exposing itself right now, and it will be further exposed when everybody understands the true history. A huge deception has been perpetrated on mankind. Now, you could look this up for yourself. Isis, aka the Queen of Sheba, went to see Amenhotep III, aka King Solomon, yada yada yada. They had a bet. She lost the bet, and he slept with her. Very famous story. So she had a child out of wedlock.
And I don't think that Judaism and Christianity go hand in hand. I mean, they believe that Jesus is in hell burning in human shit, and they believe the Virgin Mary is a whore.
So the Jews are actually referring to the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon's story, but they don't give too much detail because then it'll expose them because the Queen of Sheba is black. And we know that there are black people out there that are claiming that they are a huge part of the Hebrew history. Well, if they admit the actual story, then they have no choice but to concede to the blacks. So they fall short of mentioning anything else besides her being a whore and the child being a bastard. You see the deception? She had to find a way out of her predicament, and she did.
You've laid with a man.
No, Father, I need you.
You'll be put to death.
You see? So if she went home with the child, she would have been disgraced by her people. So she takes the long way home and has her child while traveling. She gives her child to the wet nurse or whoever, and then heads home, well, someone she trusts, then heads home. Now, do you remember the Moses story? Well, that is her story. She goes for a stroll and finds a child outside the palace, but it is her child. Her people still consider her to be a virgin with a special child given to her by God. She is royalty, so word of this travels very fast, especially when she takes the child, goes back to Amenhotep III, aka King Solomon, and gets him to marry her and claim their son. That is what is represented on the Hathor Temple here. I will explain this image thoroughly in another video. So Isis, aka the Queen of Sheba, becomes Queen Tai, or Queen T. And if you know anything about Queen T or Tai, she was very much respected by various heads of state around the entire world. plus she's connected to the most powerful man in the world, plus she's connected to the most powerful kingdom in the world, and they knew about the so-called virgin birth story. So how can the Black Madonna and Child be perpetuated all around the world? That's how. The white version makes no sense. The white Mary, nobody knew her besides her friends, family members, and neighbors. The black version, various people around the world knew her and the child in real time, especially when she married King Solomon, aka Amenhotep III. The white version, as a child, most people did not know who he was. Then he disappears for 18 years, comes back, and they want to throw him off a cliff. He supposedly does miracles, and people start paying attention to him, but as fast as he becomes popular, he becomes unpopular, and the people turn against him. He had every opportunity to show the people who he was, but he chose not to, and that's because the white version is a charlatan. I can explain the white version further, but another time, because he's not the king of the Jews. He's king of some other people that the Jews did not like. So now you know the actual history. I guarantee you, if we just have a worldwide discussion about the Black Madonna and Child, history will be unraveled. Israel is not the land of milk and honey. Africa is. Throughout history, how many nations tried to carve up Israel for its resources? None. How many nations tried to carve up or carved up Africa for its resources? Many, because Africa is the land of milk and honey. I will make a prediction. Africa will be united within this century, and within this century, they are going to talk about their history on the worldwide stage and correct the many false allegations about their history, thereby rewriting history. They will have no problems with challenges because they are gathering up their information as we speak, and we have all the information and the lies that the Westerners especially have told about the Africans and black people. The Africans will use that against them. With their own words and actions, Westerners will be exposed. They won't be able to hide from their history any longer. You're done, son.